Dr. Elena Vasquez stepped off the shuttle onto the pristine docking platform of the Galactic Assembly central hub, a colossal sphere orbiting a sterile gas giant. The air hummed with artificial purity filtered, ionized, and scented with neutral ozone. No dust, no microbes, no hint of the chaotic stew she'd left behind on Earth. She adjusted her environmental suit, the one they'd insisted she wear, even though humans didn't need it. "Welcome, Ambassador Vasquez," said the greeting drone in its flat, universal tone. "Please proceed to decontamination." She'd expected bureaucracy, but this? The chamber was a labyrinth of scanning beams and humming analyzers. An alien attendant, a slender Valari with translucent skin, floated nearby, its eyes wide behind a visor. "Human physiology is unique," it said, voice modulated to politeness. "We must ensure no contaminants spread." Elena suppressed a laugh. Contaminants. She'd grown up in Mexico City, breathing smog thick as soup, swimming in rivers laced with industrial runoff. What they called poison, she called Tuesday. But as the scans progressed, the Valari's demeanor shifted. Alarms chirped softly. "Anomalies detected," it murmured. "Heavy metals in bone density, radioactive isotopes in tissue. This is not survivable." By the time she reached the assembly chamber, the news had spread. Delegates from 100 species whispered through translators. The purity protocol was sacrosanct. Only worlds with atmospheric perfection were colonized. Earth, a death world, teeming with uranium veins, mercury seas, and radiation that would melt most life forms. Humans, thriving amid it all, were a walking violation. The revelation hit during her opening address. "We come in peace," Elena began, projecting calm. But halfway through, the Grand Arbiter, a massive, crystalline entity named Keeler, interrupted. "Your scans reveal toxicity levels that classify your species as a biohazard. Lead in your blood, mercury in your nerves. You process what kills us." Murmurs rippled. A quarantine vote was called immediately. Earth, isolated. Humans, pariahs. Elena sat in her quarters afterward, staring at the holographic seal on her door. Quarantined even here. She thought of her daughter back home, playing in soil that would sterilize these aliens. Absurd. But the stakes were real trade cut off, technology withheld. The assembly debated extermination as a precaution. She paced, mind racing. Option 1, appeal to their logic, prove humans could adapt. Option 2, expose vulnerabilities, risk escalation. Option 3, wait, gather intel. She chose 3, for now. Information was her chessboard. That night, alarms blared galaxy-wide. The harmonics had awakened. Ancient silicon-based horrors, dormant for 10 million years, stirring in the void. Reports flooded in. Ships vanishing, colonies converted into crystalline hives. The assembly convened in panic. Elena watched from her sealed viewer, piecing it together. The harmonics absorbed lasers, regenerated from blasts, turned flesh to fodder. Invincible, they said. But not quite. In a border skirmish, a human marine unit deployed covertly by a rogue faction engaged a harmonic scout. Sergeant Kai Lennox fired his kinetic rifle, but when a shard pierced his suit, his blood sprayed onto the enemy. The harmonic convulsed, its structure fracturing like glass in acid. It melted, Kai reported in a classified feed Elena hacked. "My blood did that," she froze. "Humans as weapons." The very toxicity they feared. Revelation stacked on revelation. Her biology wasn't a flaw. It was armor, but revealing it. Confirmation of the toxic liability. She weighed paths, silence, and let the galaxy burn. Disclose selectively, risk betrayal, or leverage it for alliance. Meanwhile, on the assembly floor, Dr. Solara, a Threxian xenobiologist with feathered crests and the reputation for heresy, pored over stolen human samples. These creatures store poisons that disrupt silicon bonds, she whispered to her aide. The harmonics are silicon. Humans could be the antidote, but her superiors voted for Earth's destruction that very session. Solara's gambit. Smuggle data to Elena, propose an alliance. Risk her career, her life. Elena received the encrypted file in her quarters. Ancient records attached. Earth seeded with heavy metals eons ago. Not natural, engineered. Someone precursors? Had designed humanity as a failsafe against the harmonics. She laughed bitterly. We're the galaxy's dirty bomb. Moral weight settled in. Embrace it, save trillions. Reject, pursue acceptance on their terms. But acceptance meant erasure. She assessed over the next days, isolated but connected through back channels. Internal human debates raged via quantum link. Radicals wanted to weaponize immediately. Moderates argued for diplomacy. If we become their poison, one advisor said, we're monsters forever. Elena saw layers. Systems like the Assembly rewarded purity, punished deviation. Utilitarian ethics clashed sacrifice integration for survival. Planning began in shadows. Elena contacted Solara. We need proof, she said. A test. Solara agreed, smuggling a human volunteer, a Marine with Kai's unit, to a lab. They exposed a captured harmonic fragment to human blood. It dissolved in seconds, radiation scrambling its regeneration. It works, Solara transmitted. But the Assembly will see this as confirmation. Your weapons, not people. Factions emerged. A power-hungry Korvath delegate plotted to exploit humans as disposable troops, promising tech in exchange. Another, principled but naive, pushed for extermination to preserve purity. The harmonics, sensing disturbance, accelerated. Probes neared Earth, drawn by anomalous readings, humanity's toxic signature, a beacon. Elena thought through moves like chess. Path 1. Ally with Solara, present findings to a sympathetic subcommittee. Risk, exposure, immediate quarantine escalation. Path 2. Go public galaxy-wide, force the Assembly's hand. Risk, panic, preemptive strikes on Earth. Path 3. Deploy covertly, let action speak. She chose a hybrid, build a coalition quietly while preparing humans for war. Solara's network grew. A few delegates joined those with worlds already falling to harmonics. We need your poison, one admitted. Dark comedy in it. Humans, the unclean, as saviors. Elena wrestled internally. Her ambition to integrate humanity warred with necessity. Compromise after compromise. Allow weaponization trials, but demand rights post-victory. The race tightened. Harmonics breached Assembly defenses, converting a moon base. Bureaucracy paralyzed response committees debated while worlds died. Elena's team smuggled Marines to front lines. Kai's unit struck first, infiltrated a harmonic hive, released blood-infused grenades. The hive crumbled, silicon veins blackening like rot. Victory, but a Marine died his body left behind, contaminating the site. Word leaked. Assembly outrage. Humans spread their toxin. Debates turned vicious. Korvath faction moved to seize Earth, harvest humans like resources. Solara testified, they're not the threat, the harmonics are. Use them wisely. Elena, finally released to speak, stood before the chamber. We're what you fear. But we're what you need. Execution unfolded chaotically. Elena coordinated from a hidden bunker. Humans deployed as volunteer specialists. Blood banks weaponized into aerosols. Radiation-amplified suits turning soldiers into walking reactors. Harmonics faltered hives poisoned, advances halted. But costs mounted. A human squad captured, dissected. Their toxicity studied, countermeasures begun. The moral quandary peaked on Vega Prime. Elena led a strike team, personally ambition driving her. They breached the core hive. Spray it, she ordered. As the harmonic overlord writhed, Dissolving in human essence, she saw the irony, saving the galaxy by becoming its nightmare. A subordinate hesitated. This dooms us to isolation, she nodded, or elevates us to indispensability. Consequences rippled, harmonics retreated, fragmented. Assembly hailed humans grudgingly, but purity protocol amended, humans restricted to containment zones, integration partial, tainted. Solara faced exile for her contamination. Kai promoted, bore scars, literal and ethical. Earth buzzed with division, heroes or sellouts. Elena returned home, shuttle-piercing toxic clouds. Her daughter ran to her, oblivious. She hugged her, feeling the weight of accumulated knowledge. The galaxy was saved, but at what scale of morality? Systems perpetuated, corruption in victory's guise. She eyed the stars, plotting the next move. Acceptance wouldn't come easy. Perhaps it shouldn't.